Everyone, and welcome to the Stephanie Stevens Show. Thank you guys so much for joining me here on my YouTube channel. I am Stephanie Stevens, and I will be your host for the next hour. Today on my show, we're going to be talking about drug addiction. And I have invited one of my fabulous friends to come on the Stephanie Stevens Show and talk about his journey with drugs. And hopefully we will educate some people out there about the drug addiction and the drug addiction issue that we have today. As you know, 385 men have died in the last few months in Toronto alone from drug overdoses. So we're going to address this issue today with one of my good friends, Mr. Dave Stryker. So welcome to my show, Dave.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm all right.
Wonderful. Now, you know the subject that we're going to talk about today.
Yes.
But I just want to ask you a few questions. Like, where are you from?
I came from Keswick, Ontario. I was born in Fort Erie, grew up in Keswick, and I eventually migrated down to Toronto.
Okay. And how old are you?
I'm 36.
Okay. And do you work?
I do. I work as a professional dom.
Okay.
So I've done BDSM dungeon stuff.
Okay. So can you explain that to our audience what a professional dom is?
It's I'm not going to say it is under the umbrella of the sex industry.
Okay.
Right? It is similar to prostitution. It is considered prostitution. It is prostitution, basically. But I mean, the kind of BDSM I provide does not include sex, stuff like that. It's just clean fantasy, right?
Well, prostitution isn't illegal.
No, it's not. Yeah, no. And nothing to say against it. Nothing to say against it. Nothing to say against any sex work at all.
Okay.
Right?
Now another thing is, just so I want it to be lighter for this conversation, so the audience can get to know you.
Okay.
Now, what kind of childhood did you have?
I grew up in Keswick.
Were you a good child or a bad child?
I was
Were you
okay.
a bully?
Well, I wasn't a bully. I got bullied a lot.
Okay.
I grew up.
Why did you get bullied?
I was tall, very awkward, a beanpole. I was so skinny.
Well, girls and boys must have liked that.
Yeah, but it was. I used to get picked on so hard when I was in school. So I grew up like that. Wasn't really very close with my family and stuff like that.
So you had brothers and sisters?
I did, yeah.
Okay. Do you talk to them now?
I don't talk to any of them.
Okay, I understand. Okay, now, how long have you been in Toronto? When did you come to Toronto?
I came in 2015, very start of 2015.
But why did you come?
Okay, now this is an interesting story. I moved around. I lived in Keswick, Newmarket area. Well, yeah, like Newmarket, and eventually I moved back to my hometown of Fort Erie.
Okay.
And I went there. I do my latex thing. I do it in public.
It's great. I love it. I love it.
Fort Erie didn't like it. I met a girl, and we were doing the BDSM thing in public. She was walking me on a leash. I was handcuffed. I was in latex shorts. And they charged me. They arrested me. And they threw me in jail for 3 months.
Look at that.
It was actually, they convicted me of causing a disturbance. So I tried fighting it. I didn't have anybody to bail me out, so I tried fighting it in court, in jail for 3 months, and eventually they just give me the option: if I plead guilty, they'll give me time served and let me out, or I can wait another 5 months till trial. So I just pled guilty to get out, right?
Okay.
So after that, I have some good friends from Northbound Leather that I know. They're like family. They're great. They knew what was going on and whatnot. As soon as I got out, they just said, "Come to Toronto. That won't happen here."
Okay, so they helped you out.
Yeah, so they brought me here. I love those guys.
So, do you mind if I ask your sexuality? Like, are you bi? Are you gay? Or are you just one of the pronouns?
Hetero flexible.
Okay.
I guess I have had sex with men, not a whole bunch. I do cater to men with my domination sessions also, as well as women. But mostly, I'm with women.
Okay, you have sex.
Yeah.
Okay, now, how long have you been stripping, or how long have you been doing the dom thing?
Okay, so when I came to Toronto, I needed a job. And my friend said, well, Flash is right here in the corner, and they're always hiring people. And I went over, got a job at Flash, and I started stripping. And that was at the maybe February, March of 2015.
So you said when you came, now, were you doing drugs before you came to Toronto? When was the first time you ever smoked a joint or did cocaine or crystal or Tina as they call it, or any drug? When was the first time?
So the only drugs I've done are MDMA, cocaine, ecstasy, and weed, right? So the first time I ever did coke, I was against coke, and I was 22. I moved in with a friend who was a drug dealer, and I started doing coke with him. That lasted for maybe 6 months, and I said, wait a minute, I moved out, and I got my shit together. And I didn't do it again. I did it occasionally at first, for like the first year, and then all of a sudden, bam, I just did not do it until I came back down to Toronto.
So did your roommate that you were living with, is he the one that encouraged you, or you were just a willing participant?
Well, I mean, it was great there. I held off for a bit, and then one day I'm just like, I'll just try it. And then I just tried coke, and I liked it.
Okay. What did you like about it?
It was that first high I ever felt from coke, and it's every time I've ever done coke after that, I was looking for that first high, right? That first high was amazing. It was great. The anxiety of being a drug addict, it's not there at first, right? You don't have to feel bad about it. You don't know what to expect. You don't realize the weight loss, all of it. You don't know it's coming, right? So you're feeling good about it. I felt really good about the first time I did it. So I just kept on doing it.
And so were there urges, or was it just the fact that you were looking for that feeling?
Well, at first, it was just the fact that it was there. I could have walked away from it at that first little spurt when I was in my early 20s. I could have walked away from it at any time and never looked back. Because it wasn't really like a set addiction yet. I thought it was. Until I went through this round of addiction. Then I realized that was nothing. Right? So
you would think, when you say you were a dom in Keswick, in theory, with your girlfriend.
Well, that was just personal. That was just that wasn't like a professional thing. That was just like a personal island little lifestyle.
You guys weren't drinking or doing any sort of drugs back then, smoking weed or nothing.
I know I barely even smoked weed.
Okay, so it was just part of just your relationship. So you were clean back then.
Yeah, we were clean. Yeah.
So when you came to Toronto, and then you had this roommate that sort of just didn't care if you did drugs or not, and then eventually, what made you move out? What made you move out from the roommate?
Oh, that roommate, that was in my early 20s.
Okay.
So that was a while ago. The coke made me move out.
Okay.
It was the drugs. I couldn't be around it because I was like, wow, wait a minute. Because I was always like, at that point, I was a pretty big guy. I was in good shape. I noticed it was going down the toilet. Okay. So I had to get away from it, right? So I did that.
So now, when you came to Toronto, just tell me about how you got yourself together, an apartment, your life together. Things were better. So, and you say you needed to make money. So once you knew you needed a job, you needed to make money, was there an underlying reason why you didn't do something more professional than this, or was it just because it was easy?
It was, it's different here in Toronto, I noticed. Like, if you're not in the serving industry, if you're downtown, there's really not a lot of jobs to do. I'm not really, I do have certain skills, but it was so much easier. I just thought, be a stripper, it's going to be fun, it's going to be cool, you're going to make a lot of money. And it was okay at first, but I went like 3 months without doing coke, right? And I had it in my face all day when I was working there. right? People offered me it all day, and eventually I caved and I just did one.
Okay. So why, like, so you have an apartment now.
I just recently broke up with my girlfriend,
Okay.
and I moved back with the two that brought me to Toronto.
Okay. Why did you break up with the girlfriend?
She was doing coke.
Okay. So it was. So this is all. It seems that you are now attracting the coke crowd, the drug crowd.
Yeah, she was. I've known her now for like 3 years, and she was one of the biggest ones that I used to do coke with when I was doing the hard way, and we quit together.
So how did you know you? So when you went to become a stripper, the drugs became the drugs became more abundant.
Yeah,
and more easy to get.
Oh my God, it's everywhere. Like I can't go to the village now because it's going to be in my face. It doesn't matter where I go. I can't go there. I can't go to bars. I can't go to clubs because I just not at this point I can't. Right? It's still fresh. It's still less than a year, right?
Is it that people just want to hook up with you and they offer you the drugs, or is it just part of the thing to do, or is it just a norm?
Well, I don't know. Like people seem to just want to party with me, so I just.
You're a good-looking guy. It's you're attractive. I mean, so people will be drawn to you, and they're probably willing to do anything to either sleep with you or have you in their company. So, I just forgot the question that I asked you. So, what is it that you were getting from the bar you were working in, or the environment that you were in? What was the high that you were getting from working there?
Acceptance. That's what I was looking for, because like my family turned their back on me because I wear latex clothing, right?
Mm-hmm.
They didn't even know that I this is even before I even slept with a man for the first time. I can imagine if they found out about that, they would have lost their top, right?
So what did they think? They thought this was a gay thing or just a weird thing? Or what did they
I guess it's just, you know what, it is a little bit strange to some people, I guess, but you know, I try not to be awkward about it.
Yeah. Being in the village all the time, this is normal to me, so I don't see anything other than an attractive man in PVC that says maybe a sexual thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even a sexual thing for me. It's like,
but most people that would be in the community here would think this is a fetish or a party. There's a party behind all of this maybe because of the way you look, and the latex says a lot.
You know what it is actually. Like mostly, it's like I get anxiety, right? Mm-hmm. And it's mostly I cannot leave my house without having like my clothing has. I get anxiety about leaving, right? Mm-hmm. This is the biggest thing that relieves it.
So it makes you comfortable.
Makes me comfortable. It makes me feel like I can conquer the world in latex. Right. I don't know what it is, and I know it's like, you know, I can't go to a job. I know if I like. People just seem to accept it for some reason. I don't know why.
Well, you look healthy. The people that we see today that do drugs, I mean, not everybody looks like a lot of the concerning people that we see outside that are acting odd and strange and acting out. But you look healthy and like you have some sort of control of what are you actually addicted to?
Cocaine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just cocaine, not crack cocaine.
Yeah, no, just cocaine. Okay. I never tried meth. I never tried any of that stuff. I wasn't even scared.
So now, where did you get this cocaine, or is it just available to you when you want it?
I could. You don't walk outside, and in 5 minutes, I could have as much cocaine as I wanted. Okay. Any given time. Right now, I could do it, but yeah, it's everywhere. It's like everywhere, and it's really bad in the gay community. Mm-hmm. It's so fucking bad. You see all these guys. You know what the problem is, man? Is people lose their family over coming out. Mm-hmm. They lose their family, they lose their friends, and they're left with nobody, right? So what do? They look for acceptance. Mm-hmm. And they find it the first place they find it. And the first place I found it when I lost everybody was with the drug crowd. And they're not, like the cocaine crowd is not the people you see on the street and stuff. They're servers, and they're the really hot servers at the bars, and they're the really attractive people you see walking down the street, and the people who have good jobs and can afford this crazy habit, this money pit of a habit of cocaine, right? It's like a rich man's drug, really, if you're really going to get into it.
So this is not an escape from reality. Let's just say being gay or bisexual or having the dominatrix thing, the no job, no money, no girlfriend. This is not the you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not that, is it?
No, you know, another big contributor is I have bipolar disorder.
Okay.
And I was not on my meds properly. I was not on the proper meds. And it was the impulse control was a big thing that I couldn't get over with the bipolar. Like right now, I'm pretty medicated. I'm a lot closer to having the right mix.
Okay, wonderful.
And that helps, right?
So you've seen the doctor?
Yeah, I do see a psychiatrist. I am proactive about it, and I take my medication, and that's the way you gotta be, or else it's gonna control your fucking life. It will.
Now, can I just ask a personal question? Do you enjoy doing drugs?
Now? No.
Just in general. Did you enjoy doing that?
No, I didn't. Not at the end. I felt really bad, you know? Like, at first, it was like, hey, party, do some coke, you know, get you all excited, you party more, all these cool people, they're doing drugs, and, you know, you can fit in with them now. After a while, it's not even that anymore. I was sitting at home with my girlfriend, and I was sitting on the fucking bed and just doing a line, being silent for 10 minutes, do another line with her, be silent for another 10 minutes, do another line. What is that, right? Why was I doing that? I couldn't understand after a bit, like, what am I doing? I'm not having fun. This is not fun.
When did you know you were hooked?
When it really hit me, it was probably about a year ago, and I stopped lying to myself and I said, I'm an addict. I am an addict, right? That's what you got to do at first. Like, you have to admit that. You got to tell yourself that, because as soon as you stop telling yourself that, you're going to do it again. Your life is over, right? So it was maybe around a year ago. No, maybe a little more than a year ago. It was last year, and I was like, I was trying to quit, and I couldn't. And I was
Did you go to rehab?
No, I didn't go to rehab.
Did the doctor suggest you go there?
I didn't even tell him. I never told really anybody about it.
So you really were trying to do it yourself?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, were the women supportive of you not wanting to do the drugs, or they just wanted to keep using?
Well, my girlfriend, man, she knows what I was doing, and how I actually quit, I had to leave the strip club. Okay. This is back in February, so I had to just leave. I didn't call him, I didn't say nothing, I just said, I'm not going back. And I had my own night. I had my own fetish night where I was hosting, and I was doing my dom shows on stage and stuff. I wasn't doing backward dance anymore. I was getting paid as a feature performer, and I just said, you know what? I'm not going back to that place, because that place is making me do it. Not making me do it, but I was doing it every time that I went back to that place, every single time. Down in the change room, just here in the line, yeah, I can say no, right? So I did that, and then my girlfriend, she just kept on like bringing it around me, bringing people that do coke around me, and I would slip up like once a month. But once I slip up once, I'm gonna do it like 3 times that week, and I'm gonna go, okay, I gotta get back on track. So that's been happening since February to October. I got it down a lot, so it was like maybe not even once a month in October. I think it was the last time I did it, right? Okay. And she brought it home from work, and she goes, I did some coke. And I said, okay, don't worry. I said, we'll get back on track, right? You're an addict. It happens, so we'll just get back on track. And she goes, I got some with me. And it was like, boom, right there. Right? So
you still have the urges.
oh yeah, the urges will be there for the rest of my life, I presume.
Now, in the gay community, I know usually sex and drugs are always a mix.
Yeah.
On a constant basis. So it's good that so you're not working there anymore.
No.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Now, where are you at now? What are you doing now that's keeping you from thinking about the drugs and doing it?
So I got right back into the fitness, right? So I got right back into working out. I'm back into that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually waiting. I'm going to do a personal trainer certificate next month and do the course and everything. So I'm using the fitness as a big thing to deter me from it.
Okay.
And I do want to say, during the summer, after I left Flash, I got a job at a dispensary.
Okay.
And I started smoking weed heavily. And you know what? That heavy smoking of weed kept me away from coke. 100%. 100%.
Well, it's great now that it's legal here in Canada. I mean, and so that, maybe that could be another way of helping our audience understand that sometimes,
Yeah, weed is not a bad thing. So it's not a bad thing. Like, I don't even really smoke it at all anymore. I don't need to, right?
So what's the high from doing cocaine, and what's the high from smoking weed? What is it? What's the difference?
Well, it's mainly for the weed because I wasn't properly medicated mostly at the time, and like the proper medication just came a couple months ago. It was bringing my manic down from the bipolar. And when I get manic, I get really like, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, and maybe I'll do that, right? So that might be one of the things I'll do. And so it made me bring myself down from being manic all the time for the bipolar.
What's the worst thing you've ever done for money to get drugs? What's the worst thing? I mean, if you don't mind sharing that with us, I mean, just what's the worst thing that you've done? Or have you done really bad things to get drugs?
Or I haven't done bad things to get drugs because, like, working the dungeon, doing the dungeon sessions, and working as a stripper, I was making enough money that I could afford a big drug habit, right?
Oh, okay.
So I never had to steal from anybody, from friends, nothing. I wouldn't even steal from a store. I feel so bad, right?
So how did your life change once you became addicted? What did you find that you were missing out on? Were you going to the gym on a regular basis? Were you eating on a regular basis? Or were you just waking up late at night? I mean, you sleep all day and wake up late at night. I mean, what?
I was not eating on a regular basis. I got pretty skinny, right? Okay. I got way too skinny. And you know what? I didn't see it when I looked in the mirror. When I look back at the pictures, I can show you a picture.
Well, can we see one?
Yeah, actually. Make sure I don't accidentally pull up dick pics.
Oh, yeah. You want to see that?
Let me see if I can. It's got to be in here somewhere.
Okay. Well, take your time. I just want to say to our audience today we have the fabulous Dave Stryker talking about drug addiction. He's now looking for a picture of us when he went through some really bad times. He's going to show us the before and now. This is after, but we're going to get to see the before in just a few minutes. And we're talking about drug addiction and his journey of recovery.
I will.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right. Take your time. Just to recap a few things. He's a male dominatrix, and he ended up working in the strip clubs to make extra money for his drug addiction and to promote his dominatrix business. And in return, it afforded him a lifestyle of having as much coke and drugs as he wanted, and sex and the party life. So this is why I invited him on my show today, is because I wanted people to understand that the drug addiction issues and the issues that Toronto is having a real crisis. In the last year, over 385 men have died of drug overdoses. So this is why I wanted to address this issue on my show today. Right now, we're going to bring you.
I do have a picture of the exact incident that I was arrested for. That was
this,
yeah. That
this
was
is when you were arrested?
yeah. That's what I was arrested for right there, walking down the street like that with that woman.
Can we blow that up? I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but that looks great. You can send that to me. Yeah. Go ahead.
All right. So yeah, I did 3 months in jail fighting a charge of causing a disturbance for literally doing that. No sexual behavior, nothing was showing. So Fort Erie, fuck you.
Oh. Now that you're here, you like being in Toronto?
I love Toronto. It's amazing.
So you plan on staying here?
Yeah, I'm not leaving. I can't do this in these small towns.
So what is the best time that you had while doing drugs? What is the best time, and what is the worst?
I think I found the pic.
Oh, you found the pics? Okay. And now, do you feel that you're in a good place right now?
Yeah, I got so skinny.
Oh, look.
Oh wow, look how skinny I was at that point,
Look how
man.
skinny you are.
That's at the peak of addiction rate there, folks. Don't do it. Do not do it. That's
is
all I
the
gotta
peak
say.
of addiction.
That's what it looks like, and it's not pretty, man.
So you heard him. He says, "Don't do it." The peak of addiction, it affected him.
I still somewhat had muscles a little bit, but I was skinny, man. I was cokehead skinny. It wasn't fun.
What's the best time you've had when you were high? What's the best time and what's the worst? When were you at your lowest?
My lowest?
And what were you doing when you felt like you were at your lowest? But let's talk first. What was the best high and the best time you had when you were high?
That was back when I was in my 20s.
Okay.
Back when I was in my 20s, well, I mean, the cocaine I was doing back then was really, really pure. Like I've never found anything like it anywhere.
Okay.
This stuff was amazing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this was also 15 years ago.
Okay.
So
what was the lowest point? Have you been so low to you never contemplated suicide or anything like that? Have you?
I thought about it so many times, man. Just like not wanting to be on that shit anymore, and I'd be like, I fucking spent $600 tonight on cocaine and like another 300 on just like cabs and this and that, and going around partying. And I was like, you know what, man, I should just jump off the fucking balcony. I thought that so many times because I don't want to wake up sober and have to deal with it. I don't want to have to deal with it sober when I
So now are you aware of you're aware of your urges. You know
Yeah.
the places to stay away from
Yeah.
and the people to stay away from.
Anybody who does drugs.
Okay, so tell the people out there what they should look out for when, let's just say the bad people. The bad people, when you're recovering, what should people really do to stay away? Because we know a lot of times they say, let's go to rehab, or let's not go in that area, or let's not go over to that person's house, because you know that the drugs are there. What would you say to people out there that to help them kick their habit or to really stay focused on their rehab?
You gotta find a hobby, man. Right? You gotta find a hobby. You gotta find a job. You gotta find something that keeps you busy during the day and makes you go to sleep at night. That's the biggest thing, man. And if somebody does drugs and you go, oh, well, I quit drugs, so I can't do drugs with this person, but they're a good person. They might be a good person. They might be a good person, but you can't be around them. You can't. You gotta tell them, I love you, but I can't be around you. Right? You can't. You can't tell yourself that you can be around these people and not do it, because you cannot. And that's like the biggest thing I try to tell people who are going through this. And they don't want to listen, but yeah.
So, what is it that you think you can teach people or educate people that do drugs? What's your advice to people?
You know
now?
what?
What's your
I just wish the stigma wasn't there, because You know what the worst thing about having a drug habit is and not being able to tell people about it? Is the fact that you cannot tell people about it, right? I want to go to somebody I love and say, listen, I have this problem. I don't want to be judged for it. I just want help, right? And I want people to have a place where you can just say that. Somebody can say that too, you know what I mean? Because it's not going to be your close friends. It's not going to be your loved ones. It's not going to be the people you're doing drugs with. They don't want to hear that. It's not going to be the people that, it might be the people that love you if they're cool-headed and they get it. But not everybody's going to have that, right? Not everybody's going to have somebody that can go and say, listen, I need help, right? Or even just talk about it. You know what? You can still be doing drugs, and you can not want to do them, but you need to talk about it, man. You have to, because if you don't, it just eats you up inside, and you're going to keep on doing it.
So you're doing well now.
Yeah.
You're taking your bipolar medication.
Yeah.
Things are balanced.
Yeah.
You're staying away from the bad places.
Yeah.
You're focusing now on your working out and your done business.
Yeah.
And are you happy?
I'm a lot happier.
You're in a better place.
I am in such a better place.
Mm-hmm.
I feel amazing now. Like, I feel so much better.
You know, I'm glad you came on here today. Because, you know, I'm going to be honest, I've never done drugs in my life, and I've never smoked.
Yeah.
I have tried many times, because, you know, in the bars, you got to drink something to deal with
what's
going on in there.
Yeah, exactly.
But, you made me feel this was real, and this is something that you needed to talk about. So, to my audience, he's correct. Talk to someone. Look for a place where you can tell someone what you're going through and how you're feeling, and don't be ashamed. I learned that a lot. When I first stepped away from the drag business, I thought, what is it that I want to do? And once I realized that, I went to someone and talked to them and said, I don't want to do this anymore. And they said, don't do it. It's simple, but it seemed I've been doing this for 30 years. How can I do something else different? But once I walked away from it, and I really accepted the fact that I'm not going back there, things seem to have gotten better. And for you, now you seem to have a more clear head, a more focused, and I like the fact that you're talking about it. The fact that you're actually talking about it will help educate a lot of people out there. And you made me feel like I could talk to you. So I think that that is a start. So thank you.
Thank you.
And I'm glad that we had this conversation about drug addiction. And hopefully we educate some people out there. Now, what's your final thoughts for our audience?
Don't do it because, man, it's just a road you don't want to go down. Like, I see a lot of young kids just entering the village, just young guys, right? And they're starting off the same journey that I'm finishing right now. And if we gotta like, as a community, like, why are we taking these young guys and looking at them and thinking sex and do this because I'm gonna bang you? And why are we doing this, man? These are our fucking youth. We gotta protect these people, right? And we're not doing that. There's too many people not doing that, and it fucking sucks, man.
Well, like, it was great that you actually expressing that. The fact that the youth is exploited, even the older ones are exploiting the youth.
Yeah.
And that's part of the way society is now. And the fact that the world seems angry now, and everybody seems angry, and nobody has any respect or time, or the people aren't like they were 10 or 12 years ago. Toronto used to be a beautiful place and a great place to be in.
Yeah.
But now a lot of bad things are happening.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I don't know why. I sort of do know why, but I won't say that on camera because I want a career down the road. There's certain things that you can't say right away because we all know the truth. We live in this community and we know where the drugs come from and we know who's doing what. But sometimes if you want to work or if you want to live in the community, you have to be quiet. Or be silent. And that's a bad thing. But hopefully we have we have educated some people tonight about drug addiction and your journey dealing with it, and it's been very enlightening to me. And at the end of the day, we care about you. We do. We care about you, okay? We do. We do care about you. So you just have to find that group of people that care about you and care about you talking to them. You can talk to me. I don't want anything from you. There are people like that, and there's a lot of good people in the world.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Dave, for being on my show.
Thank you for having me here.
Thank you for educating the audience, and just the fact that you have somebody you can talk to. So I say this to my audience out there: find somebody you can talk to. Go to your church, talk to your boss, talk to a good friend, that someone you know you can trust, that don't do drugs and that aren't looking to get anything out of you. So with that, I want to say thank you for being on my show. Thank you guys for listening. Hopefully we've educated some people out there. Thanks everybody. Thank you, Dave. Thanks everybody.